Hi there everyone, welcome to another Monk Lowery's Tales from the Shed, and today I was going to read from the Mighty Mince Pie Massacre, the 6th and final Roman Garstang book, and this is all about how Roman's life was completely ruined by a single mince pie. And I'm going to start in the first chapter, and it's a Sunday, and a lovely picture by Sherry's Amazing of the pantomime cow. Let's go for it. Gamble gets involved in a play and Mrs. McDonald has some time off work. It probably seemed like a good idea at the time. A nice pre-Christmas treat for the class. A Sunday evening trip to the theatre. Our Christmas school play was coming up at the end of the week. Before then, Mrs. McDonald wanted us to see a proper professional panto. She wanted us to be inspired and make our performance on Friday better, so she organised for all of us to meet at the theatre on Sunday night. I'm not really sure why she bothered to take us in the first place. What was the point? Our class had one short song and dance to do in the school Christmas production. We were only going to be on stage for 3 minutes. Maybe she shouldn't have taken us at all. Still, there was no way she could have known what would happen. Fact 1. Most people who go to a panto don't get crushed by a man dressed as a woman and then set on fire by a pair of exploding fake boobs. Fact 2. If you do get set on fire by a pair of fake boobs, that's usually the worst thing that could happen to you that week. Things don't normally get worse afterwards. Mince pie. Best seats in the house, said Mrs. McDonald, cheerfully leading us to the front row of the theatre. The room was already filling up and there was a fizz of excitement in the air, like when someone lights the fuse on a firework. We'll almost be close enough to touch the actors on stage. I'd soon learned that this wasn't actually a good thing. I was just about to plop myself onto my seat when Darren Gamble slithered out from under it. Sit on me and I'll eat your bum. What are you doing down there? I said. I'm amazed that Darren Gamble is allowed to go on the school trips after all the things he's done, like the zoo visit when he stripped off naked and punched that penguin, or at the History Museum when he played football with an ancient Egyptian mummy's head. His bulging eyes flicked from side to side. I'm proper excited for the start of the play, innit? I frowned. Have you been drinking your energy drink again? Grinning, he held up a can of drink that read, Flapping Terror, Extreme Energy Drink, because sleeping is for dead people. Warning, may cause blindness, explosions of the heart, and some melting of the skull. That looks like pretty strong stuff, I said uneasily. Darren's behaviour is always even worse when he's been chugging on energy drinks. Oh yeah, well strong. They use it to dissolve batteries in Kazakhstan. Oh. I looked around for somewhere else to sit. Hey, please don't leave, whined Gamble. You're my best mate ever and I love you. Oh, I said, that's kind. He sniffed. And if you try to move, I'll give you a volcanic nuclear terror wedgie until your head bursts. I gulped. That didn't sound very nice. Reluctantly, I slid into my seat. What treats have you got then? Said Gamble, plonking himself next to me and bouncing up and down. None. Gamble punched me in the arm. Don't lie, you don't go anywhere without snacks. I've seen you bring a jam donut into school assembly before. I sighed. This was true. That assembly had been an extra long one, though, and some people do say I have a bit of a donut habit. Well, if you call 12 donuts a day a habit, that is. Personally, I call it a hobby. I reached into my coat and pulled out the bag of fruit pastels I'd pinched from home. My favourites, exclaimed Gamble. Plus, they've got fruit in, so they're probably one of your 5 a day. Yeah, they're okay. We'd run out of donuts, I said. In other words, I'd eaten 8 in one go, and Mum had refused to buy any more until you thought about what you've done. Gamble wiped his nose on his sleeve. What a swap, he said. I brought a mince pie. It's properly Christmassy, innit? I'd rather... I began, but Gamble snatched the bag out of my hand and shoved the mince pie in its place. Hooray. I've already said I don't like mince pies. I didn't read that bit. But this one was particularly unappetizing. It was small and burned round the edges, and the pastry was kind of sweaty. Also, it smelled quite strongly of Gamble. Imagine a dead fish stuffed with an old man's undies, and you're halfway there. I stared at it and gulped. "Ain't you going to eat it?" he asked. His voice was just a little bit threatening. You know, I might save it till later. Like 20 years later, perhaps? "What's wrong with it?" he said. "My mum made that. If you don't eat that, I'll twist off your eyebrows." "It's still a bit warm," I said. "I don't want to burn my mouth." Gamble sniffed. "It's only warm because it's been in me pocket." "Ah, delightful. Maybe we could swap back?" I asked, hopefully. "Eat it now." I took a tiny nibble, and I nearly fainted. It tasted like a mix between burnt car tyres and soil. "Wow, that is powerful," I said, my eyes watering. "What's in it?" "Mince. It's a mince pie, innit?" I raised one eyebrow. Like I've said before, nobody knows what the mincemeat really is. The confident expression on Gamble's face made me feel very worried. What kind of mince?" "Hedgehog," said Gamble. "Dad squashed it in the car and Mum minced it up and put it in a pie." "Gross." I spat it out into a tissue. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you enjoy the rest of it. There are 5 other Roman Garstang Adventures out there as well, which are all on the back there. Take care. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.